Coach Sloan, Cougar Track and Field at a very important juncture in the season. Let's talk about this weekend. Don Kirby Elite Invitational down at Albuquerque and the Husky Classic, pretty big meet over in Seattle. Why are these meets important for the Cougars right now?
It brings us a higher level of competition. We've been kind of local over at Idaho, meets at our place, and down at Boise was a little bit different, but the level of competition in both of these meets is going to be much higher than we've seen all year long. But I think we're prepared for it. We've performed well up to this point, and I think that the added competition will just improve our performances that much more.
Where are you in the indoor season when it comes to counting down to the championship?
Well, this is a big weekend for us. This is 2 weeks out, and we need to be hitting our stride right about now. So this will be a good test for us to see where we are. The following weekend, we're going to host a meet here, and it will be a meet that'll be a tune-up for some people, and for others, it'll be a rest weekend as they prepare for the championships over in Seattle the following weekend. So we're at the end of the indoor season. At this point, the only person that looks like they're still kind of in the mix for the NCAA probably is Dino Dodig in the heptathlon. I think Charlotte Muschamp in the high jump is just outside of where she needs to be, but we've got 3 more opportunities to get those marks to where we need to have them. So we're getting to the end of it, but the outdoor season starts right around the corner from that.
You had a couple of outstanding performances last weekend. Let's talk about a couple. First, Daniel Zamuda repeated with his freshman school record tying 8:01 in the 60-meter hurdles. Can you talk a little bit about his progression as a freshman?
We recognized him when we recruited him as a tremendous talent, but there's usually a little bit of an adjustment period, and I thought in looking at the video of Daniel running in high school that his was going to be a little more adjustment than usual because of the way his lead lay came up and some of the things that he did in his hurdling, that a 3-inch higher hurdle is going to make a little difficult for him. But I was wrong. He has adapted very nicely, and he's a very powerful young man. He runs with a great ease. If we watch him run and don't pay attention to anybody else in the race, you wouldn't imagine that he's running as fast as he is because he's so smooth. And that's a great asset for him. And I'm looking for him. Hopefully the next time he goes under 8 and puts himself in the mix.
On the women's hurdle side,
yeah,
Candace McFarland ran into the school records with a 10th place all-time WSU best at 8:55 in the hurdles. She's come in after a redshirt season where she had very limited practice and conditioning. How do you feel she's coming along this year?
I think very, very well. She's getting in and running 400s on the 4x4 relay because she's an intermediate hurdler as well. And right now, she needs to get a little bit stronger, but I like the way she's running it. She's going out and attacking the race and looks fantastic, and then just kind of fades at the end of them. And as she gets stronger and starts finishing those races, she's going to do very well there, which will bode well for her intermediate times outdoors. The short race, she's a 7 stride to the first hurdle, so she gets out and gets moving right away. And that was a good run for her there. And then she came back with a good time in the final and backed it up. But she's making big progress right now, and that's right at the right time.
Pac-12 pole vault champion Christine Felix, as a freshman last spring, is proving that she's not in a sophomore slump.
No, she's stepping it up to the next level, and I would expect that of Christine. That's kind of the way she rolls, and she's always looking to, in school and everything she does, is to be the best at it. And 13.7 1/4, I think, makes her the second highest vaulter in WSU school history. Tamara Dials being the number 1, but she took some nice-looking jumps at 14 feet in that competition, and I know Coach McGee's looking at poles and getting longer poles and stiffer poles and all of that, if she can make those poles rotate and get into the pit, then she's going to be at 14 before very long.
Well, that's exciting.
It is exciting.
Well, thank you for your time today, and good luck to the Cougars this weekend in Albuquerque and in Seattle.
Thank you. Go Cougs.